Hello everyone out there in YouTube land, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to the very first episode, the premiere episode of the Scent Maven's Movie Corner. So I am the Scent Maven, and this is going to be a discussion of movies that I have watched during the previous week. So my inspiration for doing this is that I bought a lot of used DVDs recently, and I'm trying to make sure that I watch all of them because we can't just buy movies and not watch them. And occasionally I pick up a new movie from Best Buy and such. So I talked about this in my vlog. I asked subscribers whether they thought this would be an interesting addition to my channel, and I got some positive feedback. So I said to myself, okay, I'll do it. This could be horrible. I don't know. But let me just preface this by saying I'm not a film critic. I'm not a film student. I'm not a studier of film. I don't know the nuances and particulars of cinematography. So if you're expecting a professional movie review, this is not the place for you. This is the average Joe movie review. So how am I going to do this? So every week, if this is successful, every week I will post a video reviewing the movies that I have watched the week prior. I don't know if I'm going to post it on the same day every week. It's not like Mondays is going to be movie day or Tuesdays is going to be it. Whatever day it ends up on, it'll always be the movies from the week before. And I'm going to tell you how it did among real critics and audiences. So I always check RottenTomatoes.com to see if a movie's been certified fresh or rotten. So if the movie gets, oh, by the way, Rotten Tomatoes is an aggregate of critic reviews. It's a what do you call it? It's an aggregate. What's another word for aggregate for people who don't know what that word means? It's a percentage of all the reviews that come in from the critics that participate. And then there's also the audience rating. So I have taken these movies. These are the movies that I watched last week, and I'm going to tell you what the critic rating was and what the audience rating was on Rotten Tomatoes, and then I'm going to tell you what I thought of the movies. And so let me get started, because this was a really long introduction. I hope that all made sense to you. So it'll probably make more sense as we go along. So the first one I want to talk about, and I have my coffee here, which I never drink coffee on a 95-degree day, but I'm drinking regular instant coffee in the lovely mug that the Bad Enabler gave me for my birthday, which says, "It is better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring," which I could say about a lot of these movies. And already, that's not part of the mug. That is my lipstick print on there. But this is, I think, a left-handed mug, because I'm right-handed, and if I turn it facing me, it has no print on it. So I don't know what that's about. Regular instant coffee with Snickerdoodle Coffee Mate. Okay, so the first movie I want to talk about, It Follows. This is a horror movie. Cover intrigued me. I had not watched the trailer. I decided to give it a shot. It was like 10 bucks on sale. I figured I'd try it. So what did this get on the tomato meter? I don't think you can read that, so I'll have to tell you. 96% of critics liked it. 66% of audiences liked it. So that gave it a rating of fresh. I thought this movie was completely ridiculous. Let me tell you what it's about. So it's about this girl. Her name is Jay. 19-year-old Jay. Okay. She has a casual sexual encounter with this guy that she's been seeing, as you can see there in the car. And then after their tryst, the guy puts his hand over her mouth with chloroform, I guess, and knocks her out. And she wakes up and she's tied to like a wheelchair. And he explains to her that he's just given her something, and that now it's going to follow her. Now, if I hear that, I think, okay, she just caught an STD. What's the big deal? Go to a doctor, get some penicillin. That's kind of what it sounds like. But no, so she's sitting there, and the guy says to her, "Look over there. Look over there. Do you see a person coming towards you?" And she's like, "Yeah." That is the it. The it will take on the form of an ordinary looking person, or sometimes a person that the victim knows, and it will follow the victim slowly. It's not like a racing, running zombie thing. The it will follow the victim until it catches up with the victim and then kill the person. So how did it come about? How did it originate? How did the it follows start? It doesn't say. Okay, so the premise of the movie is this: how do you kill the it? How do you get rid of it? Okay, so person A has the it, sleeps with person B, gives person B the it. Person B has to sleep with another person as soon as they possibly can to pawn off the it on them. Here's the catch: if person C gets killed by the it before they can pass it along, the it will revert and kill person B and then kill person A, and all the way down the line from where it started. So it sounds completely ridiculous. It sounds like, okay, this person has caught an STD and now they're spreading it around and it's eventually going to get them killed. Oh, okay, so that's basically the premise of the movie. You don't find out the it that follows is not scary. I mean, it's just looks like a regular person. Sometimes it's like a creepy looking person that walks all stiff like this or whatever, but it made no sense to me. And then I'm not going to tell you the ending. There's not going to be any spoilers in this movie, in these movie reviews, so I'll let you know that. But just completely stupid. Okay guys, just to show you how funny this is, I'm just going to show you a portion of the trailer, because if you think of the it in this movie as being an STD, this portion of the trailer is particularly funny.
It could look like someone you know, or it could be a stranger in a crowd. Whatever helps it get close to you.
Okay, so I'm giving It Follows a thumbs down. If you guys like any of these movies or have different thoughts on it, please comment down below. Okay, so now the next one that I want to talk about, really, really excellent, terrifying horror movie, and that is The Babadook. I know it's a silly, silly title, but such a terrifying movie, so scary. And they don't even really show you the monster, the Babadook. Well, they do, but they don't. So what makes this movie really terrifying is that, how could I explain it? Okay, it's terrifying because it's plausible. It's plausible, it could happen. Okay, so let me tell you why, but let me start off with the rating on the Rotten Tomatoes.com on the tomato meter. So this got 98% approval from critics and 73% of audiences liked it. So what is the movie about? It's about this woman whose husband died in a car accident while he was driving her to the hospital to have her baby, their son. And ever since this happened, it's damaged her mentally, it's damaged her emotionally, and she's carrying this burden, this heavy burden with her. And her son is annoying. He's really, really annoying. And obviously he's been damaged by the fact that he lost his father in this accident and such. So what is the Babadook? So the kid in the movie, the son, he's already having nightmares about monsters and having to protect his mother so that he doesn't lose her like he did his father. And every night before he goes to bed, they check in all the closets and under the bed well, the mom does, to show him that there's no monsters. And then she reads him a book. So one night she tells him, you pick a story from your bookshelf and I'll read it to you. And he picks this book that she'd never seen before. She didn't know how it ended up in the bookshelf, and it was called Mr. Babadook. And okay, so picture it. The kid is on the bed. He's really just scared of monsters. This is supposed to make him feel better. But the book is terrifying, and it starts off okay, and then it becomes more and more and more devastatingly scary, to the point where the mom just slams the book shut and the kid's crying. Ah! You know, it's the book, the reading of the storybook is the most intense, scariest part of the movie, I think. So, and in the book, it's like a rhyming book, you know, it's like it's supposed to be a rhyming children's book, and it says, if it's in a word or it's in a look, you can't get rid of the Babadook. You have to watch it. Okay, so what makes it so scary and compelling? The Babadook itself is not that frightening of a figure, although when you hear the voice of the Babadook, like in the shadows and stuff, it's like one of those voices, like really scary, Babadook, like that. It really, really terrifying. So the Babadook doesn't interact with the rest of the world. It only interacts with the son by virtue of the mom, and it interacts with the mom. So there is the question, is the Babadook real, or is it her slowly descending into madness, losing grip with reality as she struggles to cope with the loss of her husband, and seeing her son as the burden or the cause of the accident that took her husband away. Excellent movie, super wonderful, highly recommended. This gets a big thumbs up from me. Okay guys, so of course you can watch all these trailers online, but I'm just going to show you a little snippet right here.
Where'd you get this? On the shelf. If it's in a word or it's in a look, you can't get rid of the Babadook. A rumbling sound, then 3 sharp knocks. Babadook, dook, dook. That's when you'll know he's around. You'll see him if you look.
Pretty scary, huh? Okay, so definitely check out the Babadook. Super wonderful. Then we have here 2 movies by Wes Anderson. So I was interested in watching these 2 because, let's see, I have The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. And this stars Bill Murray, which is the lowest rated Wes Anderson film on Rotten Tomatoes. And then I have Moonrise Kingdom, starring Bruce Willis, Edward Norton, Bill Murray, and other people. And this is Wes Anderson's highest rated movie. So let's do a compare and contrast. Which was better? Were the critics right? Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start off with the lower rated one. If you hear snoring, that's Malcolm. That should be a known thing in all my videos. You hear pug noises, it's my pug. He's passed on the floor making pug noises. Okay, so The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou got 56% of critics liked it, 52%, and 82% of audiences liked this movie. All right, so what did I think about it compared to other Wes Anderson films? And what is it about? So The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, Bill Murray plays Steve Zissou, and he is a deep sea explorer, oceanographer type person, very similar to Jacques Cousteau. And the submarine that they travel in, the red knit hats that they all wear, all worn by Jacques Cousteau. Let's do a little comparison. Okay, here we have a photo of the late Jacques Cousteau, and you can see he is wearing an identical hat to the one that Bill Murray wears in the film. Also, here is Jacques Cousteau's diving saucer or submarine. Again, very similar. So the other similarities are that Jacques Cousteau used to do these, a series of sort of documentary films, ocean films, called the, was it the Undersea World of Jacques Cousteau, or was it the Underwater World of Jacques Cousteau? Let me check that. Okay, so it's the Undersea World of Jacques Cousteau. That's what the films were called. And you can watch, there's a multitude of them on YouTube if you want to see what it looks like. But the coloration of the film that they use for the Undersea World of Jacques Cousteau compared to the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou is very, very similar. Color palette, very similar. It's definitely inspired by Jacques Cousteau, and definitely sort of, I don't know if they're lampooning him or just it has to be like a parody of his life, kind of. So if I can concentrate with Malcolm snoring. Anyway, so what is it about? So Steve Zissou plays a Jacques Cousteau-like character who, during his last aquatic adventure, lost his best friend. He got eaten by a leopard shark. And at this point in his career, in Zissou's career, he's sort of like washed up. And his comeback, what he hopes will be his comeback, is for him to go out on one last sea journey and kill the fish that murdered his friend. And right before he goes to set sail on this adventure, he is visited by, I forget, Owen Wilson. And Owen Wilson says, I'm your son. So this is news to Steve Zissou, and he's like, okay, let's bond. Let's, you know, get together. Come with me on my journey. But really, Steve Zissou has no money. It's just like a, you know, a shoestring budget that he's working on. He's counting on this to bring back his career. He's a very shallow person. He thinks he's a lot smarter than he is. And the movie starts off kind of slow. Of course, we get all the Wes Anderson wide shots and little touches that, to make you know that it's to let you know it's a Wes Anderson film. But really, I think the big problems with this movie are that Steve Zissou character, that character is not a likable person. You're not rooting for him in the movie. Yeah, he just seems like a real butthead. Like, you don't want him to be successful. And the ending, which I will not reveal, no spoilers, leaves a lot of unanswered questions that were raised throughout the film. So I kind of liked it. It wasn't terrible. It was good. It was good, you know, not my favorite. The thing that makes it good is that it's a Wes Anderson movie. If it had been directed, if it was the same story directed and shot by someone else, I probably would have hated it. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that one. So my recommendation is, if you love Wes Anderson as a director, then check out The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. If you don't know Wes Anderson from Adam, I'd probably say to avoid this one. Okay. Of course, you can watch the trailer on YouTube. This is just a little snippet.
Supposedly, Cousteau and his cronies invented the idea of putting walkie-talkies into the helmet. But we made ours with a special rabbit ear on the top so we could pipe in some music.
Okay, next we have a movie also by Wes Anderson, and that is Moonrise Kingdom. This got 94% on the tomato meter by critics, and 86% of audiences liked it. And I have to say that I'm in agreement. I love this movie. I think it was great. But like I said before, if you like Wes Anderson films, but even if you don't, I really, really like this one. It's a simple story, but it's really riveting, and it's shot beautifully, and it has great actors in it. So let me just read you a little bit of the description, because I know I'm not going to describe it properly. Set on an island off the coast of New England in the summer of 1965, Moonrise Kingdom tells the story of two 12-year-olds who fall in love, make a secret pact, and run away together into the wilderness. So basically, here they are. the boy character in the film is a member of the Khaki Scouts, not the Boy Scouts, but the Khaki Scouts, and nobody likes him. He has behavioral problems. We later find out it's because he was adopted and nobody really wants him. The girl in the movie also has issues with violent tendencies and acting out, and they sort of find each other and they become pen pals and they plot to escape together, to, you know, to get married, even though it's silly, they're 12 years old, but to escape together, and it's all about their adventure. And hot on their trail is Edward Norton, who's the leader of that particular troop of Khaki Scouts, and then Bruce Willis as the Captain Sharp, the local sheriff. He's great. I love Bruce Willis in this movie. He is excellent. And then thrown in for good measure are Tilda Swinton as the child services person that's mad at all these people, at the sheriff and the Khaki Scout master for letting the boy escape. There's also Bill Murray, who plays the girl's father, and Frances McDormand, you may remember her from Fargo. She plays the girl's mother. Really, really great movie. So touching and funny. Just really great. What else can I say about this movie? The dialogue is wonderful. One of I think the defining scene in the movie where you really get a sense of what the tone is going to be is after the little boy runs away from the Khaki Scouts, and the sheriff, Bruce Willis, is alerted. He calls the little boy's home and speaks to who he thinks is the boy's father, and says to him, your son has run away, but don't worry, we're going to find him, and he'll be safe, and return to your home safely, and everything will be okay. And the man on the phone says, I had just sent you a letter in the mail saying that we're not going to be able to take him back. It's just not working out. He can't come back here. So Bruce Willis, very puzzled, was like, are you the boy's father? And the man says, I am his foster parent, and we don't want him back. And Bruce Willis is appalled by this. He was like, oh my God. Well, he doesn't say that, but it's like, oh my God, how sad. This boy's run away, and the person who's supposed to be caring for him, the first thing on their mind is, when you do find him, don't send him back. So yeah, it's so wonderful for so many reasons. If I were a better student of film, I could probably explain it properly, but...
Mr. Billingsley, I've got an escaped Khaki Scout. We are notifying you as a matter of protocol. You say you can't invite him back? You say that he's an orphan? I don't understand how that works. What am I supposed to do with him?
Okay, for you guys who have never seen a Wes Anderson movie, here is a scene from Moonrise Kingdom, and you could just see how gorgeous this shot is set up. I mean, it looks like a painting. It's simply breathtaking. It just goes to show the beauty of his movies. Okay, last but not least is a movie that's going to have to be a rewatch for me, because I just was not interested in it the first time around, and I feel like I should be, because it's a classic that everybody seems to like, and that is Alfred Hitchcock's North by Northwest, and this stars Cary Grant, Eva Marie Saint, and James Mason. This got 100% on the tomato meter by critics, and 94% of audiences liked it. The movie starts off interesting enough. Cary Grant plays this gentleman named Thornhill. He's an advertising guy, normal businessman, and while he's out to lunch with some clients, these two goons escort him, forcibly escort him out of the restaurant, and they kidnap him and they take him to this house out in the middle of nowhere, and where they proceed to talk to him as though he's someone named Kaplan, Mr. Kaplan. So he thinks it's a case of mistaken identity. He's like, obviously these men have me confused with someone else. I don't know what plan you're talking about. I don't know, you know, because they keep saying to him, are you going to cooperate? Are you going to do this work for us? Are you in on the deal? And he's like, I'm not Kaplan. I don't know what you guys are talking about. This is ridiculous. So then, in order for no one to believe his story or to make him seem like a worse person, they literally pour a bottle of bourbon down his throat, and they put him in a car, and one of the goons gets in and starts driving, and then jumps out, and they put his hands on the wheel, hoping that he'll careen into a wall or a mountain, and people will think he died, you know, for drunk driving. So then it goes on to, I mean, it's still interesting at that point. He's going around trying to figure out who this guy Kaplan is and why they believe that he is him. Do they look alike? They have some connection? He goes to the hotel room where the Kaplan guy is supposed to be staying. All this stuff, and he comes to find out that Kaplan doesn't really exist, that he was an identity or a person, a fictional person created by the government, I think, to infiltrate this gang that kidnapped him, and now his involvement has sort of put a thorn in the works. You know, a kink in the works, a wrench in the works. So, but then after that, it gets boring. It's like, oh my God, I couldn't. I don't know why I don't like it. I'm going to have to watch it again and maybe do a re-review. But that's my thoughts on it so far. And at first I said to myself, have I been so sullied by, you know, modern movies that I can't watch a classic movie and enjoy it because it's 2 hours and 15 minutes and doesn't have the special effects or film, you know, stylings of today's movies? And then I remembered, I was like, no, that's not true, because I have watched Gone with the Wind. I remember the first time I watched Gone with the Wind, and I was riveted. I loved that movie instantly. I was hooked from the beginning. It was fabulous. Great movie. One of my favorites. Also, What Happened to Baby Jane, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane with Joan Crawford and Bette Davis, another old movie, but a great classic movie. So I don't think I dislike or couldn't get into North by Northwest because I'm just not a fan of old movies. It just didn't hook me. Maybe I wasn't in a movie watching mood when I started to watch it. Maybe I wasn't in the mood to watch a 2 hour and 15-minute movie. You know, I don't know. So I'm gonna have to give it a second shot. Malcolm keeps snoring so loudly. I'm glad that my movie reviews are putting him to sleep. I guess they might be putting you guys to sleep too. So, okay, so I'm just gonna show you a little bit of North by Northwest. If I can get my computer to cooperate, which I can't. Pretend to be interested for a second.
Cary Grant becomes a secret agent against his will. Propelled at gunpoint onto the highest level of international intrigue and framed for murder. Cary Grant, running for his life, searching for a man who doesn't exist, and a secret nobody knows, and finding a blonde who has all the answers.
Okay guys, so that's going to conclude Scent Maven's movie corner. So the final verdict on North by Northwest, upon initial viewing, I did not like it, but since everybody else seems to love it, I'm going to try to rewatch it, and if I think something different, I will let you guys know. I hope you enjoyed this this crazy attempt at some kind of reviewing, filmmaking, new addition to my channel, and the crappy insertion of YouTube movie clips. This is not a professional operation, as you can well tell, so I don't know. If you guys like this, if you want me to do more, give it a thumbs up. If you think it sucked, let me know that too. Be completely honest. And I'll probably take another shot at this again next week, and we'll see if the movies get better or get worse. So until then, goodbye everyone out there in YouTube land, and happy movie watching.